I grew up in India in dire poverty. I worked as a janitor when I was in high school, when I was in college, to help my family come out of poverty. And my mother, who was a very strong woman and my role model, she's my hero, never completed her high school, but a woman that taught me how to survive, how to fight back, how to never let, when things get bad, I saw her stand up and took our family forward. And that's where I learned frugality. That's where I learned pragmatism. And that's where I learned how not to fear about things. As I was growing this company in 1996, my older son was 8 years old, my younger son was 4 years old, and my wife passed away. She suffered from mental illness. Like today, many families in Michigan suffer with mental illness. And under the Republican administration, the first thing you see is they cut his mental illness. And you see mental illness throughout the prison system, all over. The effects of that are tremendous. We see a lot of prescription drug addiction. And Bill Schuette has treated it more like a law enforcement issue, and it's not. It's a rehab issue. It's a compassion issue. And when my wife passed away, I took care of those two boys, and I made sure they have, deal with their grief. And I went and attended every parent-teacher meeting. I attended their sports events, raised them, and 3 years later, I met a wonderful woman, got remarried. And it's amazing how a woman can pull a family together and what she can do. And I've seen that with my mom, I've seen that with my wife, and I'm so grateful to them. And the 4 sisters that I have, so I've lived with strong women. And I know what difference a woman can make, and this is really a tribute to all of you. So big thanks to all of you. And so the business then kept growing, and in 2008, I had 450 employees, and the recession started. And my business went complete belly up, because most of my customers were small pharmaceutical companies, venture funded, startup companies, and they were developing medicine that the big startup companies will not develop, especially women's health. There are some issues because it's not profitable for Pfizer to invest in it. And so I helped these little companies develop these drugs, and I bought several companies around United States, including one here in Ypsilanti. And in the recession, all these companies started going belly up. And my bank saw that some of my companies were doing good, some of my companies were not doing good. And this was Bank of America. They were too big to fail, and they were collecting all kinds of subsidies from federal government. But they had no problem closing me down. So in 2010, the bank took possession of my home, my business, and sold the business. And they recovered enough money to pay for everything that I owed them. Now, I did not declare bankruptcy like somebody we know in Washington, D.C. I did not stiff my suppliers. I did not stiff my bank. They had the right to. I had signed the paper. I had made the commitment. I let them sell my assets and pay themselves full. But I had lost everything that I had worked hard to achieve. And in September of 2010, almost 7 years ago, a day before my home was to be foreclosed, my wife and I put our belongings in a budget rental truck and started driving from St. Louis, Missouri to Ann Arbor, Michigan. We were tired, but we took turns to drive that truck, and we reached Ann Arbor, Michigan at 3 a.m. We put all of our belongings into a rented place. Next day, I found a small commercial space about this big. That was for rent. And it used to be a lab, which had also gone out of business during the recession. And I rented that space next day morning and restarted my business. Before I gave the keys to the bank gave me a cardboard box, and said, "Mr. Thanedar, if you like to take some of your personal belongings, feel free to." And so I started collecting my pictures, my kids' pictures and my wife's picture, and then I was walking out the lobby and I saw there was a trophy, an Entrepreneur of the Year trophy that I'd won in 2007. This was a trophy that was given by Ernst & Young. And I asked them if I can take that, and I took that trophy, put it in my box, and as I was walking out, I said, I'm going to win another one of these. I came to Ann Arbor, this company grew rapidly, and last year I won that award, Entrepreneur of the Year, from Ernst & Young.